all this technology and we're still trying to figure out how it works, but what are there any legal issues that we should be aware of through Zoom, right? What if someone gets the link on accident and joins the class? Am I responsible for a hack? If there's someone that comes on with a generic name, I don't know who they are. Is that something I need to
Mm-hmm.
be careful of? And I think a lot of the questions that we get on this are specifically in context with children again. Talk us through a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when you go on to a platform like Zoom, there are a set of rules called the terms of use, which I've mentioned earlier. They will govern your legal relationship with Zoom and Zoom's legal relationship with you, and also Zoom's relationship with your student or customer, and that customer's relationship with Zoom. It doesn't govern necessarily the relationship between you as a business owner or instructor and your student and customer. You need to have your own separate set of legal agreements that cover that relationship. If there is a hack or a data breach that happens on a Zoom server, that's Zoom. That's all Zoom, and you look to their terms of use to see and the privacy policy, which can also cover data breaches and what to do in that event. And you talk to them about what to do. And it's probably going to be you as a business owner incumbent upon you and your responsibility to do that due diligence, to ask them, what are the certain steps that I need to take to protect information that's given to you, Zoom, or that's uploaded on Zoom, or that's through the use of Zoom. If you are having a website where customers and students are inputting information through the website, or it could be through email also, you want to make sure that that's also unhackable or protected, or the best practices of the industry are being used by your data server or wherever the information that the online information is being hosted and residing. And that's all data, right? Even first and last names can be considered protected information that's submitted online. You want to make sure
Right.
that it's protected. And most large companies like Microsoft, they have standard protections. But if you are running a business where you are collecting a lot more sensitive information, especially health information, I really advise schools not to collect that kind of information on their students or customers. But sometimes if they want to have a special needs class, or they want to have a class geared towards a sensitive population with sensitive health care issues, yeah, you're going to have to make sure then that your service provider that has the data has certain protections, that HIPAA is in place, or certain personal health information is not, can be breached that easily. And you also might want to look at this cybersecurity insurance also as that extra layer of protection. One thing I didn't complete in the first set of questions was the two other, I said there's there's layers of protections. The first layer was your waiver and release. The other two is your best practices. You need to have effective communication and some sort of guidelines in place that are standard for the industry. Because if an injury, this includes even a hack, happens, and you don't have certain guidelines around it, you could still be found liable for being negligent. And then you need to have insurance. Insurance is always a great way to protect yourself.
Eugene, let's talk about that. We've had a few questions come in here around insurance. One is, I'll read them off and then maybe we can summarize, right? So do we need to purchase insurance for Zoom classes? And then the second piece that kind of ties into that is, does my insurance policy need to change to protect my company while online?
Yeah, so you should look at your errors and omissions and commercial liability and business owner's insurance. A lot of times they're intermingled, but professional liability, errors and omissions, and commercial liability are the insurance policy names that cover services and injuries or claims or occurrences that arises or relates to your services. So look at that to see, is there an exclusion for, is it tied to your physical property, or can it be anytime you render services anywhere remotely, including online? So it is worth a look. Talk to your insurance broker. It's not worth it I think, to get an attorney just to look at your insurance policy. most insurance brokers are incentivized to do this work for you, and they should know the policies, ins and outs, and all the exclusions, because they might want to sell you that extra, rider or that extra additional policy, extra $20 a month. It covers online sessions.